What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here. So, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that a few months back, I was going hard on whatnot. I was in auctions like every other night, picking up packages, multiple packages like every week, stacking them up. And y'all know I'm a procrastinator. So, I did not put them away. And then I moved. So, I have a giant box here full of whatnot packages that I haven't opened, organized, or sorted through at all. I don't even remember what's in half of them at this point. But it's a nice little surprise for y'all and for me. And I've been working through them on various whatnot hauls on the channel. So we're gonna go through another one today. I got a nice little stack for us today. So let's see what I have in today's video. Before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And make sure you give me a follow on Whatnot. Y'all know I've been talking about this for a few weeks now. I was made a verified seller on the platform, and I'm going to be selling a lot of the books you've seen in the various hauls and pickups on the channel. And if you use the link down in the description, you'll get $10 off your first purchase if it's your first time signing up. And, don't go too hard like I did on Whatnot and stack up a whole bunch of books. But if you do go hard, you'll save a little bit of money on those purchases. So make sure you use that link and check me out for future sales. All right, so these first three books were between two different sellers. And so since it was not that many, I combined them. But they're pretty awesome books for a really good prices, in my opinion. This first one is from Catman Comics on Whatnot, obviously. And this is Batman number 609, which is the first appearance of Thomas Elliot, who is Hush. Now, if you're a Batman fan, you probably already know who Hush is. He is the villain with the bandages on his face. And actually, I have the trade paperback of Hush in my Batman collection on the bookshelf, but I took it off the shelf so I could show y'all. You can see there, he's got the half face with the bandages on the top there. And Hushy's a really interesting, more modern Batman villain, and a lot of people like him. The story was really interesting, and he actually has pretty ties to the Riddler. He combined with the Riddler in the Hush storyline to try and trick Batman. And if you go on Key Collector, it has a little blurb, and it says that the Batman movie tie-in website radaalada.com, which was a website that was released alongside the Matt Reeves Robert Pattinson Batman movie, the most recent one that came out, starring Robert Pattinson. A lot of websites and a lot of movies did this in like the early 2000s, where they would release a website with Easter eggs and whatnot alongside the movie. And the most recent Batman movie did that. I don't know if a lot of people knew that. They kind of had a post-credit scene that teased that flashed that website in the movie. And on the website, there's different riddles you can do that give you different clues and whatnot. And one of the riddles has, when you solve the puzzle on the website, it shows a video of Thomas Wayne's mayoral campaign, and then briefly splashes the word "Hush" across the screen. So, might be a little tease from Matt Reeves that Hush might be appearing in his Batman movies. And Hush is definitely a villain I could see of all the Batman villains appearing in the Matt Reeves universe, because that's a more grounded in reality universe, and Hush is a more realistic Batman villain. He's not like, he doesn't have like magical powers or anything like that. So he's definitely a villain I can see appearing in that series. And this is his first appearance. Just a really cool pickup. I got this for $8, like I said, and this book goes for upwards of $30 and more. This is the first appearance of Hush. So it's a really cool pickup for a really great price. And then this next one is from Supernova Comics, these next two. This is Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 12. This is the first cover appearance and the origin of Pip the Troll. You can see him up there at the top, there. And now I've talked about Pip the Troll on the channel before. I believe I have his first actual appearance, if I'm not mistaken. But I talked about him before either way. Pip the Troll, he is a character that's usually closely associated with Gamora and Adam Warlock in the comics, and we actually saw Pip the Troll at the end in the MCU at the end of the Eternals movie. He showed up at the end with Star Fox, who was played by Harry Styles, and Pip the Troll was voiced by Patton Oswalt. And now, a lot of people had an issue with the CGI of Pip the Troll. He looked weird, but the MCU's cleaned up their things in the post-credit scenes before. Thanos, the original actor who was Thanos in the first Thanos post credit scene, was not the actor who ended up playing Thanos. Obviously, Josh Brolin ended up playing Thanos, but it was a different actor the first time, and then they changed him. So they've changed stuff before from post credit scenes, so I can see them fixing that definitely. Yeah, Pip the Troll, like I said, he showed up in the Eternals, and because in the comics he's closely associated with Gamora and Adam Warlock. We saw Adam Warlock in Guardians 3, the most recent Guardians here, and at the end he joins the new Guardians team. So I could see him either joining Adam Warlock and the new Guardians team, or even joining Gamora with the Ravagers. I think that's a possibility as well. But a really interesting book to have the first cover appearance, and I believe I have the first appearance as well, if I'm not mistaken, for Pip the Troll. And then this last one, again, Supernova Comics. This is a more modern book. This is Exterminators #1. This is the David Nakayama Virgin variant cover. Now, y'all know, if you've been following the channel, I'm a simp for Jubilee, Dazzler, Boom Boom, basically, those characters in the X-Men. And I really like this cover. David Nakayama, he's known for these types of covers. He does really great work, and it's a really awesome cover. And I've been meaning to pick up actually the trade paperback of this series because, like I said, I like these characters, and the story is really interesting as well with Dazzler, Boom Boom, and Jubilee. It's a more mature story. There's nothing like wild or racy in it, but compared to other Marvel comics, it's a more mature story. If you haven't read it, it's really interesting, and if you like those characters, it's definitely one you want to read. And so I've been looking to pick up the trade paperback. I haven't. When I see it out in the wild, I might just buy it offline. But yeah, I got the Virgin variant cover from David Nakayama. I have lots of David Nakayama variants in my variant cover collection, so that'll go join them. But yeah, some really interesting first appearances, and that Virgin variant cover was cheap as well. So yeah, great pickups from those two. And these next few are from King of the Golden State on Whatnot. I believe he's on Instagram as well, so you can check him out there. These books, we're gonna start off with some of my favorites, as y'all know, some romance books. This is Teen Confessions #58. This one was $3, and y'all can see there I'm kind of covering these. This came out in 1969, so to have like a bikini cover in 1969 is really interesting. Um, that one, as y'all know, I've been looking for a plug for romance, and he had quite a few romance books. There was actually somebody who came in like after I got my second book and was sniping some of the other books from me. And like, I don't like to pay because these are usually not in great shape. This is Time for Love #41. This one's a more modern one, and that last one was Charlton Comics. This one's Charlton Comics as well. This one's 1975, so a little bit more modern compared to the last one. But like I said, there was somebody who came in and they were stealing some of them from me. I missed out on at least three or four more of them because they were bidding them up past like $5. I don't like to pay more than like $5 or so for the romance because it's not in great shape usually, or has stuff on it like this one, Hollywood Romances number, what is that, 49. You can see somebody wrote on the cover there. Usually they're not in great shape. They have like writing on the cover, even though the covers look awesome. I really like the art in these. But Yeah, so somebody was bidding them up past $5, and I was like, that last one was 4, by the way, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna pay more than $5 for the romance because it's not in great, unless it's in really good condition. But yeah, when I saw he had this much romance, I was like, I definitely have to pick it up. This one's interesting. This is Teen Confessions #58. This is this one is also from 1969, and you can see there it says it has a crossword puzzle on it. I wonder if anyone did the crossword puzzle. We can check that out actually. All right, so I got it open here, and flipping through it here. Let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. These are called. This one's Teen Confessions. If you look, I don't know how they said that these were teenagers. Like, look at her, and then look at the guy up at the top. That guy looks like he's mid to late 20s. That guy is not a teenager. These are not teenagers. But I've always found that interesting. Like on the covers and inside the books, they look way older than they're always called like Teen Confessions and Teen Love. And I'm like, these are not teenagers. Like that's a teenager. I mean, I know this was 1969, so they did look different. But look at that woman. Like she looks like she might be like 30. But let's see. We're looking for the crossword puzzle here. I get distracted. I really love the art in these. That's mainly why I like these. They're also very dramatic, like especially the covers. Um, but yeah, that's mainly why I like these. I love the art in these. In these, would it be early Silver Age, or late Silver Age, early Bronze Age, romance books. The art's really great. Where is this crossword puzzle at? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, it looks like nobody did it. Um, it is untouched there. And they have the answer on the bottom. There is one already done for you, but that's not that's already done. That's printed. That's not one that somebody circled. So yeah, interesting. And yeah, like I said, these romance, they're called teen all the time, like teen conventions, teen love and whatnot. But they're rarely do they look like teenagers. In the books, they look like they're like mid to late 20s or early 30s all the time. All right, anyway, back to the pickups. This one is Date with Debbie, number 8. It's not really classic romance like I like. It's more like in that Archie style. But it is from 1970, and it's also DC, so kind of like an early Bronze Age, late Silver Age, kind of romancy type book for $3. So I picked that up. This next one is a first and a second appearance. This is Batman 647 and Batman 648, which is the first and second appearance of Spoiler. And I got both of these for they were in sold for a lot. Both of them the set for $16. Which if you know Spoiler, she's a Batman sidekick. She was Spoiler. She's Clue Master, which is one of Batman's villain's daughter. And so she's been Spoiler. She's also been Robin before, and most recently she's been Batgirl. And they kind of retconned her background in like New 52, I think, or something. But she's basically a Batman sidekick. She's part of the Bat family. She's a really interesting character, or a really interesting side character for Batman. And usually, the first appearance goes for like $10 or so. So I got both of them for 16. I thought that was a decent deal. And spoiler is definitely another character I could see showing up in the DCU at some point. Um, because she's an interesting character that I think that James Gunn might like to explore. These next ones are some run filler for my Uncanny X-Men run. Um, and they were $3 a piece. This is a newsstand number 186 of Uncanny X-Men. This is the first cover appearance of Forge, who is the guy over there on the side. He has the ability to create any type of weapon. He's like a master weapons crafter, and that's his kind of mutant ability, and or his superhuman ability. And this next one is Uncanny X-Men number 205, or 206, sorry. This is not a key. This little run filler for the run. Ooh. Little run filler for the run. This next one is 214. I have this one already and I've showed it before. This one is also in kind of a weird, it's not like a mylar, it's kind of like plastic. It's like harder than a mylar, and it's got the top there, so it's not sealed. But it is in really good condition, though. Even despite I guess the plastic thing kept it in good condition, even though it's not sealed. But I have this one already. It's 214. This is the when Dazzler joins the X-Men. As you know, I'm a Dazzler fan. You can see Storm there piecing her up, and I have this one already, but it's a really good copy, so I might swap this one out for the one I have in my PC, and then sell the other one depending on I don't remember what the other one's condition looks like. But that's the first time Dazzler joins the X-Men, which there's rumors of Taylor Swift might play Dazzler, which if she plays Dazzler, pick up any Dazzler keys now, because if Taylor Swift plays Dazzler, the Swifties are crazy. All the Dazzler appearances and covers and keys will shoot up. They'll probably triple in price. The Taylor Swift movie that's coming out now, the pre-sales for it have rivaled the pre-sales of Endgame. Like this movie Taylor Swift's movie might make close to $1 billion. It's probably not because it's only showing 3 weekends. They're showing it on the weekends, 3 weekends in a row, so it's probably not. But if it had a regular release, I don't know why they don't just release it regularly because it might hit $1 billion. That's how crazy the Swifties are. But yeah, so pick up Dazzler keys now if you see them before they shoot up, especially if you're a Dazzler fan. Because if she plays Taylor Swift plays Dazzler, it's over. But yeah, 215. This is Uncanny X Men 215 here. It's the first appearance of Stonewall, Super Saber, and Crimson Commando. You can see them on the cover there. This next one is Uncanny X Men 216. It is not a key. Again, just a little bit of run filler. The next one is Uncanny X Men 224. Also not a key, just a little bit of run filler. Really interesting cover there, though. This next one is 252. Again, not a key, but some run filler. Like I don't know if I mentioned, if you haven't been watching the channel, I'm collecting the Chris Claremont run of Uncanny X-Men, which is like 90, I think, all the way to 280. This one is last one is 264, which again is a run filler, but a really cool beast cover there. But yeah, so that is a little bit of run filler and some interesting books. The spoiler one's really interesting as well that were in that package. These next books were from Jack Brooklyn on Whatnot, and he was doing 10 books for $1 each if you got 10 of them. So I picked up 10 books from him, and we're going to start off with some more first appearances. This is like the first appearance packages here. This one is Superman number 500. This is several first appearances. It's the first appearance of John Henry Irons, who later becomes Steel. The first appearance of Superboy, who, of course, is Connor Kent. The first appearance of Cyborg Superman, who was formerly Hank Henshaw. And then the first appearance of the Eradicator, also the first appearance of Angora Lapin, who later becomes the White Rabbit. So a lot of first appearances. This came out of the Death of the Superman arc, which started in Superman this is the Adventures of Superman 500. In Superman number 75, there was the death of Superman, obviously, at the hands of Doomsday. And out of that storyline, there was a lot of replacements made for Superman, and one of them is Steel, who is John Henry Irons. He was inspired by Superman and his death, and so he created a kind of like a suit of steel armor to try and replace Superman. You know, because the world was missing Superman, so he created a suit of armor out of steel, and he becomes Steel, and you've seen him before. He's the big black guy with the steel armor with the big S on his chest. And actually, Shaq in the late '90s played Steel in a movie as well. um, and the Also, it's the first appearance of Superboy, who was Connor Kent. Connor Kent was a character, a classic '90s character. He's got like the jacket and he's kind of like got the cut hair and he's a little edgy. He was created by Project Cadmus as a clone of Superman to replace Superman. Obviously, after Superman died, this has a lot of people trying to replace Superman in it. And Later in like the early 2000s, they retconned his origin and his background, Connor Kent's, and they made him to be still created by Project Cadmus, but now he is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor using both of their DNA. And that's actually the version that is in, if you've seen the Young Justice animated series, that's the version of Connor Kent that is in that series. So it's not the more, the original version of him, but that retcon version. And there's actually there is a series called Superboy Man of Tomorrow, which I read the first few issues, but I kind of fell off it. It wasn't really interesting me. But that Superboy is more of the classic '90s version of Superman, not the or Superboy Connor Kent, not the retconned version that you see in Young Justice. Um, and then also Cyborg Superman, who's Hank Henshaw. This is not Hank Henshaw's first appearance, but this is the first time he becomes Cyborg Superman. He's a pretty consistent villain in DC Comics throughout the years. He had a hand in the Emerald Twilight storyline. If you saw a few hauls back, I picked up Green Lantern number 14 from the '90s series, or 49 from the '90s series. The Tom Brady cover where he's got the rings. That Cyborg Superman played a big part in the destruction of Coast City, which kind of set Hal Jordan off in led to him becoming Parallax in that arc. So Cyborg Superman had a hand in that. He's also been a Green Lantern foe or nemesis. He's kind of like an anti-hero. He's not really a villain. Sometimes he fights the heroes and sometimes he helps them. So he's more like Red Hood. He's kind of like an anti-hero. And then Angora Lapin, who is the White Rabbit, she's kind of like an arms dealer in Metropolis. So a lot of first appearances in this book, and the actually each character did get their own series. There was a Steel series, a Superboy series, and a Cyborg Superman series as well, I believe, in the '90s. That spun out of this Adventures of Superman 500. Um, so yeah, a lot of first appearances in this book, and some that have stuck on today as well. This next one is Concrete. This is an interesting one. Concrete number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now, this is a Dark Horse series. You can see there at the top. I never read Concrete, but it is Eisner Award-winning series. It won 5 Eisner Awards, including the best continuing series in 1988 and 1999 or 1989, and the best series, new series as well. And I've never read it before, but these were $1, so I was like, I'll pick them up for $1 and I'll read them, see what they're about, and maybe if I like the story, I will pick up the trade paperback for the collection. But yeah, it's just an interesting story. It's an Eisner Award-winning story, which is like the um, the Pulitzer, if you will, for comic books. The award for the best comic books every year. The Eisner Awards do that, obviously named after the famous comic book creator. And yeah, so an interesting series there. Oh, I almost dropped those. This next one is another series. Wow, these really want to drop. Stay. These another series. This is one, no two, but 3 and 4 of the X Files. Now, the X Files, they were, it was a show, um, and it was what in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. I can't remember, but it was a show that came out. It was kind of like it was FBI agents that solved like crimes involving aliens and paranormal things, spiritual stuff like that. You'll see it says there, "Do not open the X Files," and it was a kind of like a cult classic. It didn't last super long, but it was like a cult classic. And the creator of the X Files series, the TV show, actually said that Ryan Coogler, the director of, he directed Fruitvale Station. He also most recently directed the Black Panther movies, Black Panther 1 and 2. He is working on a reboot of the X Files series. So that's interesting. If that comes out, that's interesting. I never watched the X Files. It came out in, I think it was 1993 when it came out. And so it was like a year before I was born. So it's kind of a more adult series, so it was a little bit before my time, so I never really got into it. But I know that a lot of people do like the X Files. This next one is Exo Manowar number 4. This one I just picked up because it was, I needed to fill out the 10 for $1. But it is a key. It's the first cameo appearance of Jack Boniface, who later becomes Shadow Man. Um, he has a cameo in one panel, and apparently this is like a $10 to $20 book, which I'm not sure. I know that Shadow Man in the early 2000s there was a Shadow Man video game. There was a couple of them for like the PS1 or 2, and but it's a different Shadow Man technically in the video games. Acclaim Comics bought Valiant Comics, and then they kind of rebooted the character. So it's not this technically Shadow Man. So I'm not sure why this book is like a $10 book, but I picked it up for $1. That to fill it out, and it's an interesting book. This next one is Infinite Crisis number 2. This is not a key, but I have most of the other Infinite Crisis books. Infinite Crisis was a series that introduced Jaime Reyes, and who was the Blue Beetle in the most recent movie. It also introduced Impulse, the Flash Impulse. So it also introduced Batwoman, Kate Kane. So it's an interesting series, sort of like Crisis on Infinite Earths, but a modern version. And this one you can see It's got the Gat. I had a Gat cover in the last one. I got another one here. I got a few of them, I guess. But and this last one again, I picked up. It is not a key. Just picked it up so I could get the 10 for $1. This is Cable number 2. So but yeah, some really interesting first appearances in that Superman book, and then that Exo Mana War book was a random pickup, but it ended up being a key and an interesting value book. So yeah, some interesting pickups in that package. And the last package I've got here is also from Jack Brooklyn. And these were $2 though. This was a different day. These were $2 each. This is Generation X number 1, another Jubilee cover there. As y'all know, I am a Simper Jubilee. This one is an incentive. It is what is it? It's an incentive variant cover with Jubilee there. I think it's awesome art there of Jubilee. And it is a key, actually. It's the first appearance of Hindsight, who's a mutant with Korean ancestry. So a little key there, but I picked it up mostly for the cover. This one, there's a lot of modern covers in this haul package here. This one is Elektra number 100. Really cool Elektra cover, I thought. And it is also a key. It's a little minor key, the milestone issue, number 100 of issues featuring Elektra as the headlining title. So a little minor key there. Um, this next one is a really cool cover of Jessica Drew, Spider Woman. This is New Avengers number 15. And so a really interesting Spider Woman cover there. A lot of modern covers in this one. This next one is Star Wars Lando number 1. This is an exclusive variant cover. And you can see Lando on there. As you know, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and Lando's one of my favorite characters. I got the Funko Pop there. You can see above the comic. And yeah, I really like Lando. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, he is going to be developing and starring in Lando. Well, it was going to be a series, but now I guess it's a movie. They're going to be making it. And I really liked his portrayal of Lando in the Han Solo movie. I'm more high on that movie than a lot of other people. I think people are coming around to it though, but it's not that bad of a movie. And I thought Lando, he shined in that movie. Childish Gambino as Lando. And so this is kind of a variant cover for my variant cover collection. Another variant cover for the collection. This is Monkey Prince number 9. Just a funny little Monkey Prince and Supergirl cover there. And then this is Crime Syndicate number 3. Another variant cover for the variant cover collection. And then we have the West Coast Avengers number 4. This one is actually a key, and y'all know I'm collecting the West Coast or the Avengers West Coast series. This is an early issue number 4. This is the first appearance of Master Pandemonium, who is a conduit for demons to enter the world. So, interesting character there. This next one, as y'all know, I'm collecting the Marv Wolfman series of New Teen Titans, Tales of the Teen Titans, in the second volume. This is from the second volume. And I actually think I already have these, this one and the next one. This is number 15. I'll have to check, but I think I already have this one. So I'll probably swap whichever one out. Issue is better out. Sell the other one. This one is number 18, again from the second volume of New Teen Titans. This is a cool cover. The New Teen Titans series has a lot of cool covers, in my opinion. But that one's not a key, that one's not a key, and I also think I already have it. And then this one is another cover, Silver Sable. I really like the character of Silver Sable. Silver Sable. That's a little tongue twister there. And so that's a little Silver Sable cover to round out the package and the haul overall. And that's going to do it for today's Whatnot Mail Call. A lot of first appearances, some variant covers, and some romance as well, which is my favorite. But let me know what your favorite of my pickups today was down in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk, and check out my link down in the description for Whatnot. You'll save $10 on your first purchase if it's your first time signing up. And I will see y'all another day.